intenso calor. De acuerdo al testimonio de los militares de Sudáfrica, fue muy difícil acercarse al objeto debido a que este producía un intenso campo electromagnético. Este incidente fue confirmado por Dithoko Seiso, el secretario del Medio Ambiente de Botsuana, en un reporte que fue publicado por el diario The Argus de Ciudad del Cabo. El objeto fue rescatado y llevado a una base militar. En ese lugar se encontró una puerta en la base de la nave. Ingresaron y en su interior se encontraron con dos seres, los cuales mostraron una gran agresividad. Uno de los seres estaba herido. Ambos fueron llevados a instalaciones médicas para su atención. Ambos seres y la nave serían enviadas hasta el S4 del Área 51, se dice, a cambio de tecnología de guerra. Algunos incluso consideraron que fueron intercambiados por una bomba atómica. 7 años después, una llamada lo cambiaría todo. Una persona con acceso al S4 del Área 51 aseguraba tener un video de un ser que había sido llevado a esta base en 1989. Un ser que habría muerto durante un interrogatorio en enero de 1990.
On Friday, July 26, 1996, the offices of Rocket Pictures, a producer-distributor of motion pictures and television programs, received a phone call. A male voice, identifying himself only as Victor, claimed to be in possession of a videotaped interview with an extraterrestrial being. Tom Coleman, president of Rocket Pictures, was intrigued enough to take the call.
I, of course, thought this was some hoax. In fact, I thought it might have even been my brother at one point. But as we spoke, this was someone who seemed to be very serious. We went back and forth on this, and I basically decided that, this is a little bit too weird for me. Thank you and goodbye. As I hung up, I had a very strange feeling that maybe, just maybe, there was something here. He said he had a tape of a space alien, an ET, that was being held in a military installation in Nevada. I'm not sure as a prisoner or a guest. He had this on tape.
At Area 51 when you copied it.
That's out of bounds.
Is it fair to assume that the copying of tapes at Area 51 is heavily restricted?
You can assume anything you like. I would say that's a fair assumption. That's obvious. I will say that this tape was copied under special circumstances. Otherwise, copying it would have been impossible.
Can you be more specific?
More specific? Okay, I'm sure they've figured this much out already. Recently, there was a wholesale transfer of video documentation from analog tape to digital disc storage. In a couple of instances, this allowed data to leak from a highest security system to a less high security system. Even so, this particular tape was the only... I think that's about all I'll say about that.
Was there something about this particular clip that made it more accessible to be copied?
Not necessarily, no.
Was there something about the content that caused them to file it differently or give it special handling?
This interview was terminated.
Después de conversar con Víctor y establecer las bases para la entrevista, esta continuó.
The people at the top of this program are intellectually very average. They're not capable of making proper use of what's been handed to them, but they have no intention of letting anyone else ever get a chance to solve the puzzle. And let's not forget there's also the real possibility that the government is being manipulated by the extraterrestrials for their own purposes.
You could have released this tape to the news media, but you insisted on being paid for it. Doesn't that cast doubt on your own motives?
Yes, and I was aware of that going in, but that's a cross I'm prepared to bear. I find it disgusting that the most important event in human history is being kept secret simply because certain unimaginative officials have the power to do so. But at the same time, I do see the irony in my own actions. All I can say is, had I had the choice, I would not have insisted on profiting from this revelation. But since by lifting this veil, I've endangered not only my career, but possibly my life, I felt the need for some small measure of monetary freedom to deal with any eventualities. And let me say, I could have demanded significantly more money than I did if I had been willing to compromise my anonymity. There have been other whistleblowers who jumped at the chance to become celebrities, which I think casts even more doubt on their motives than some people may be casting on mine.
Do you believe your life is in danger as a result of making this tape public?
I would